Hello, welcome to the Cab Talks Tourism. Our special guest for today is Isabella Rusike.
That is correct, James. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. We've known each other for many, many, many years.
That is correct.
But tell our listeners and our viewers, tell us a little about yourself.
Okay. I'm Isabella Rusike, as James mentioned. I am the current president for the GBTA-Georgia chapter, and I run my own company, Bella Global Event Management Group. So I'm an independent contractor, and I work with different companies doing meetings, corporate meetings, and incentives.
So 2 questions. First one, before I don't forget it, is Bella Meeting Group. So how'd you come up with the name?
From my name, Isabella, so I had to shorten it because I couldn't put the whole thing on there.
I was sitting there going, where's the Bella come from? And very nice.
Thank you.
Second, how did you get interested in the hospitality? I know you were in the hotel business and now you have your own sales consulting firm. How did you get interested in this?
My degree is hospitality management, so right from the get-go, I've always been interested in the industry. When I was in high school, on our careers day, we had people from different hotels, airlines, and the ladies from KLM came in to speak to us. And we had a broad view of what's available out there. So we always, like most people, think hospitality is hotels and airlines. There's a whole vast world out there, which includes meetings and events, which includes venues, which includes restaurants, sports facilities. It's so vast and diverse. So when I graduated high school, that was my major in college, and I graduated with a degree in hospitality management.
So where'd you go to school?
In England, Bournemouth, Southampton.
Wow,
yeah.
That fixed the accent.
Thank you.
Well, I'm like you. I look at hospitality as like big H, or I look at tourism as like big T, where tourism and hospitality are basically interchangeable as
Correct.
A concept, because they both include, to me, hotels, restaurants, attractions, sporting events, venues, on and on and on and on and on.
Correct.
Film tourism, arts tourism, so they all fit in the realm of hospitality to me as well.
That is true, and they actually have the stats that prove that 1 in 5 jobs touches the hospitality industry. I believe it's now actually 1 in 3.
Yeah, because when you throw retail in, just think of, because you have to be hospitable.
Yes.
You have to have customer service, or you should have. I think the should have is the
The
key
should
point.
have is the key.
So that's very true. So you mentioned you are consulting, so you go out and do a lot of different sales events. So kind of tell us about a day in the life of Isabella.
Day in the life varies, obviously, with our hospitality industry. So I work and manage a lot of corporate accounts that I work with directly. I work with different accounts in the pharma industry, financial, and restaurants. Cannot name them, unfortunately.
Right.
So basically what I do is I can come in, assist a company, run their meetings for them, and it also helps. A lot of companies are leaning more towards contractors versus getting full-time employees, because meetings happen once every quarter, once a month, or twice a year. So most companies are finding that it is more cost effective to get a contractor in just to run that piece of the meeting versus having a full-time person doing that. And a lot of that burden has been falling on the EAs, and they are overwhelmed as it is. So this takes a lot of pressure off the EAs, because we work directly with them, or whoever their contracted person is, and we follow that company's guidelines, their SOPs, and the EA still delivers and still shines at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good.
It's a partnership.
So I know we have a partnership together.
We do.
With Discover the Cab and on the sales side. And
Yeah.
you just got back from a major trade show here in Atlanta. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, Atlanta was fortunate enough. We hosted the annual Global Business Travel Association convention. It rotates every year. Last year we were in Dallas, and next year we are going out to Denver. We had 5,400 attendees attend this convention at the Georgia World Congress Center, and we had participants from over 45 countries and over 1,100 buyers that attended. It was a very huge success and a big money spinner for the city. and Atlanta was showcased in such a positive light, and we used different venues throughout the city, from the aquarium to the Eastern, and a lot of the participants got to get the taste of the true Southern hospitality.
Now, we had a trade show booth there, and we had some of our CVB people and some of our hoteliers
Correct.
work the booth with you.
Mm-hmm.
So any idea maybe how many people that you saw actually come through our booth?
Oh, there were several hundreds that came through, and they stopped by to talk and to learn, and a lot of them were curious what DeKalb County had to offer, and they were not even aware of some of the events and attractions that are in DeKalb County. So it was more educational, and also getting people to know what hotels, what attractions are available in DeKalb County.
Was there a top question that they all wanted to know? Maybe not all, but like a leading question for you all from the group?
Not really. Each one was varied. The main one obviously was Stone Mountain, which is the biggest attraction in DeKalb, and the shows that are going on and the spaces. Mainly it was more meeting space and room availability in DeKalb County.
Did anybody want to know, was there a big question on, well, what is Discover DeKalb? Where are you? Or was that pretty self-explanatory when they got to the booth?
When they got to the booth, it was pretty self-explanatory, but considering we had delegates from 45 countries attending, some people did not know that DeKalb was in Atlanta.
Right.
So it was a lot of educating people, letting them know it is in Georgia, it is part of Greater Atlanta, and what is out there and what is available.
Because a lot of people get stunned because a lot of Atlanta is in DeKalb.
Yeah.
Atlanta started in DeKalb and then branched out.
I didn't know that. I thought it was Fulton County.
They ended up here and then had Fulton County for the big Atlanta.
Okay.
So it was kind of interesting. That's how I was told a long time ago.
Okay.
So somebody can fact check me and tell me if I'm right or wrong, but that's what I was told. It started and then branched out. That's how we have so much of Atlanta.
The history.
Like we're East Lake Golf Club and all that.
Yeah.
Atlanta has moved in, taken Emory, yes, but, kind of like the old Atlanta is over in that part of DeKalb.
Oh, I did not know that. You learn something new every day.
So, I mean, and the thing is, like, when you travel, I live in Chamblee, I live in Atlanta, and I live in neither one. So I just have two different addresses you can get to me. Yeah. I live in unincorporated DeKalb.
Yep.
So, like most people, I think if you're in the metro area and you're outside of this area, you're from Atlanta.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because one time I get done, I'm like, well, I live in the North Lake area. Well, where's that?
It's in Atlanta.
From here. So it is really interesting to be able to talk about our assets with our hotels, our assets with our locations and the interstates and the MARTA travel and all that. So we really appreciate you going to the show and also working with the people from our destination and my own people over there. So we appreciate that. I see something on this list. So for a listener who maybe doesn't fully understand what GBTA is, I mean, you told us some great stats about the who came, how many countries, and how many people. So what is really kind of the nutshell of why GBTA is so important to us?
Well, GBTA is important. It is the Global Business Travel Association. So pretty much it touches on everything that the corporate traveler, the main focus is the business traveler, corporate traveler. So it touches on every aspect of the corporate traveler. And you're talking from the airlines, from the hotels, from the ride shares, from meeting spaces, anything that a corporate traveler would need to make his journey, his meetings comfortable. That is all covered within our organization. And we also advocate for change. We went to Washington, D.C. for the Legislative Summit, where we were lobbying for the SAF Act, the Sustainable Air Fuel Act. And one of the other things we also, there's various things that we lobby to, like the 9/11 tax on air tickets, anything that pertains or is a pain point for the business traveler, it's addressed through the association. And we have over 37 chapters within the U.S., and we also have international organizations as well that are part of the GBTA. So that is why we are truly global.
So what are they saying? Is business travel starting to pick up?
Business travel has picked up. It's come back fast and furious. There were a few hesitant steps, but it is on a full road to recovery. And the stats, like all the stats, are available on the GBTA website from the convention. They have released all the stats, and we are trending in a very positive direction, and we are going to surpass all numbers. It is actually turning into $1 trillion business by the year 2025.
So how is the international business travel to the United States? Is it starting to pick up?
It has started picking up. I believe we are now at 84% pre-pandemic levels and creeping up. So by the end of the year, with the way things are going, we should be able to recap all our numbers. Domestically, it's recovered completely. As we can see, we all know that. Internationally, it is creeping up there.
So one secret in the sauce that somebody could do if they wanted to get more business travel in their destination, their hotel, is there one tidbit that you should say that everyone should be doing?
Joining their local chapters. There's a local chapter in every state. Get involved, get plugged in.
So do you all meet regularly?
We meet every month, and all our information is listed on the GBTA-Georgia website. And the main website, GBTA website, lists all the different chapter meetings. So even if you are traveling and you happen to be in Dallas, Texas, for example, and there's a meeting going on there, if you're a member, you can actually attend one of those meetings, and you will be welcomed with open arms.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a family.
So do you still have some more shows this year with us?
Yes, I have one coming up in August.
So which one is that?
Destination Southeast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a meeting planner show?
Yes.
So where's that show?
That is going to be in Milwaukee.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. Oh, there's this awesome supper club in Milwaukee.
Oh,
What
I have never been. It's my first time going to Milwaukee.
Milwaukee's
I'm
cool. And
excited.
you got the lake shore, and I was up there for I think a meeting planning event. No, a travel writer event.
Okay.
And we went and had a reception off the lake, and then we went to this private supper club for dinner from after the show, and it's kind of a cool area.
Nice. I'm excited.
And you're going
Looking
when?
forward. It's end of August.
Okay,
Next
so
month.
you won't be, because since you're in August before September the 1st, you won't be in winter until September the 1st.
No, thank God.
It's kind of like when I lived in North Dakota, you had summer with a jacket, June and July. August got brutal hot. September was like winter.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to miss it.
There was no fall in between there.
Yeah.
So, but it's a great area. So we really appreciate things you're doing for us. So
Thank you.
are you the company has the ability to take on other clients if you want
Yes,
to
absolutely.
pitch for yourself?
Yeah, I do have the capability of taking on other clients, and I do work with other contractors as well. So I have a team that I work with, and between the team, we can easily split any of the workload that comes through, and we can manage any events from 10 people up to 1,000, 50,000, depending.
So how many people's on your team?
I have 6 at the moment.
Nice. And your office is where?
In Buckhead. We all work from home remotely, but we meet once a month.
So you can move your meeting once a month to DeKalb.
I sure can. I have offices right here too.
So if somebody wanted to get up with you, how do they find you?
My website, bellaglobal.com, or also the GBTA website. I'm the president. My information is listed on that website as well.
So how long do you have? A 1-year term, 2-year term as president?
It's 2 years when you think about it, because you come in as an interim president, and then you have the president, and then the immediate past president.
Yeah, it's kind of like the chamber.
yeah,
you're
so
there
really
for,
3 years.
You're stuck for several years
Yeah.
in all practical purposes.
3 to 4 years, but the active heavy lifting is done pretty much within that 1 year period when you're learning, handing over and
Right.
stuff. But it's a very rewarding job. We're all volunteers. We have almost 125 members going strong, and our members are there within and around Georgia. And
So
we
I guess
have
your strongest contingency is Atlanta or Atlanta, Savannah?
Atlanta, Savannah, we have some from right on the border with North Carolina that come through, and we have some members from Tennessee that are part of our chapter because we're very active.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you have any great stories you want to tell, this is a perfect place that we tell stories.
Wow. What's
Anything from
stories?
like getting into the business to one of your greatest memories of a show or one of your worst memories of a show. Those are always fun too.
Yeah, the shows are always fun. I love going to the conferences because you get to learn a lot and you also get to network because
Right.
as you know, with the hospitality industry, it's all about networking and making friends. And I actually got one of my accounts from a show that I went to, and one of the ladies approached me and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you looking for something? Can you take on a client?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And I got a long-term contract with a client just from talking and walking with somebody on a trade show floor.
Well, I've always preached to my students at Georgia State that if there's an opportunity, especially as a student, if there's an opportunity to be at an event, you go.
Yes.
If you have an opportunity to really any type of major thing, you attend. It's more important to see and be seen. It's important, especially at their stage in their careers or any intro. It's important all the way, but especially in the start of your career or your college to go to the real world and all that is like meeting, greeting, see, be seen.
And just putting yourself out there. We actually had a young lady reach out from GSU, and she was the official vlogger for the GBTA conference, and she did a couple of really cute videos, and she got her first taste. It was a bit overwhelming, I must admit, for her, but she really did a great job networking, talking to people. But that's how you get started. You just need to put yourself out there, attend meetings, get to know people, get to socialize. I mean, we have our Education Day coming up in September. That's another great networking opportunity, and that is going to be at the Computer Museum Center. And then we have our annual auction that is sponsored by Delta at the Delta Flight Museum. We'll wrap up the year with that in December. Another great networking opportunity. And both these events are open to non-members. It's not just our members that attend, they are open to everybody.
Now you mentioned the Computer
Science Museum.
Where is that?
That is a new place we have in Atlanta, we discovered. It opened pre-COVID and of course had to shut down with everything that happened, and then they had a soft opening. Now they're fully opening. So it is in Roswell, Georgia.
Wow, I've never heard of it yet.
It is such a cool place. They have one of the computers that was on the Apollo. They have the very first computer. It's like a totally geek out studio for anybody that's into computers.
They have
amazing.
the important stuff, apples.
Yeah. They have from the very first computer invented up to what we're using today.
Yeah, it's interesting. There used to be a place, it's now a rack shop next to REI on 85 in Chamblee.
Yeah, I know that place. Yeah.
The computer company. I went in there one time to have something, and they had, like you just said, the original Mac all the way to current. I thought that was so cool.
Oh, you would love this place. And they have a whole exhibition with the moon landing and everything.
Oh, that's very neat.
It is so
Just the whole
neat.
science of everything.
Yeah, it's actually a museum and an event space. So we are using the event space, and of course we have access to the museum as well.
That's kind of cool. I just have to go up myself.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we do with our chapter. We always highlight anything new and exciting that comes up within the city, within the state of Georgia, and most of it is within and surrounding areas of Atlanta. So we're not just restricted to the Atlanta area. We try and promote anything that is new within our state.
You need to do an event at Distillery Modern Art. It was number 7 most unique venues in Georgia.
Oh, wow.
It's
We
in
need to do
downtown
that.
Chamblee. It's a distillery of gin, vodka. They just released, we did a podcast there at their site for they just opened the rye whiskey.
Okay.
And bourbon is going to be next year, so we're going to
Nice.
do a show then. But it has meeting space, it has art, it has kind of like a museum, not a museum section, but they do different types of events with the community.
We'll
can have
incorporate that for
food.
next year.
It's right here on our screen. It's a very cool place. And then the back of each bottle is an artwork. And
Oh,
the
wow.
artist has their actual artwork on the wall. So it's a very, very neat, unique venue for DeKalb, for Chamblee. And we hosted a Georgia Convention Visitor Bureau meeting there. We had our travel media there, showcase
Wow.
there.
Okay.
As far as meetings, it'd be a cool place to have something over there just to
Yeah.
showcase. And
And
it
if-
was number
if-
7, so.
That's amazing. And we're trying to get to the assembly as well. That is also in DeKalb.
Yes.
So we are planning to host a meeting out there next year.
In the Jewel Box?
Yeah.
The Jewel Box is amazing. We've had a couple different meetings there already, and we've got another one coming up in about another month with the film industry, and it's got such a view. It's just a
Oh, wow.
phenomenal location for meetings.
Yeah. And we have some great artwork too in DeKalb. The exhibition Atlanta, which is now showing
Titanic
the
right now.
Titanic. That's another great exhibition area that DeKalb offers. So there's a lot of hidden gems in DeKalb.
Well, and we're working on more artwork. We had the international artist El Cid
Mhm.
from Tunisia,
Oh, wow.
and he did a mural in Chambly downtown in Clarkston at the library.
Mhm.
And we're right now talking with him about coming back in January, February. There's the Clarkston Library.
Oh, I like that.
And it's actually, I think that's two-sided. I'm not sure if there's another side, but we're looking at that. And he did a wall behind Gus's Chicken downtown Chambly. You can see from the new City Hall. He did that right there.
Wow.
And he always includes an artist. Like the one in Chambly, we're still trying to get her on the show. She wrote a book. It's more about the West, but she's from Chambly.
Uh-huh.
She lives in Metro, and he did a saying from her book, and every art piece has a saying in English and in Arabic.
Oh, wow.
So it's very, very cool.
That is cool.
So there's a lot of these murals in DeKalb.
Okay.
Chambly just had a new sculpture that was installed.
That's
We're
what that
looking
one.
about a sculpture from him coming back for the next year.
Yeah.
So we're trying to expand the art scene in DeKalb as well, and it is good for the business side to go out and see different forms.
Yeah, and also the food. Don't forget Buford Highway.
Yeah.
Whatever restaurant you need, you can find it. There's some great eating places on Buford Highway.
Well, I just learned a couple of my students cornered me before we went to class, and we started talking about Buford Highway.
Yeah.
And one was from
Korean
Nigeria
barbecue.
and one was from Bangladesh, and they were talking about the great food scene on Buford Highway. And then there was one of my other students from the Caribbean, and she was talking about how important that all of our cultural international dining on Buford Highway, which
Yeah.
is really, you've got that section in Doraville and in Chambly, and then some of it starts in Brookhaven, and then some
Yeah.
of it continues on into Gwinnett. But it's such a great location for.
Great location, great food, and such a huge variety. You cannot go wrong with dining on Buford Highway.
Well, then they also were talking about the different markets that there's some of these halal,
Halal.
was it?
Halal.
Halal.
Mhm.
Some of these halal markets,
Mhm.
they come from Alabama, North Carolina, Georgia, other
Yep.
parts of Georgia, on Buford Highway to shop and
Yep.
eat. So that's pretty darn cool.
It is. There's the food hall and the farmers market as well. So you pretty much can get all the foods from Asia all the way to Africa.
Yeah, the
It's
large H
amazing.
mark up there in Doraville.
Yep. So
yeah, it's been very cool.
very diverse and very interesting. Yeah.
Well, any other stories?
I could sit here and tell you stories all day long, James, but I know you're busy, so I'll stop today.
Well, we appreciate you being on the show. We've got your
My
information
pleasure.
so people can reach out to you. So we'll put that up on the podcast, and have to have you back. Tell us how the other shows have gone.
I sure will.
And thank you for coming, and be sure to check our next show.